no.
Ocho Cinco, was he a quarterback?
Your ass better call somebody.
He's gone for the touchdown. Caldwell Pope. How about that one, baby?
It's worse entertainment today.
How did he win this game?
I hope this is bleach.
Take the hoop out of the playbook, please.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the College Football Weekly Matchup, Week 11. Bryson, what in the world are you doing? I don't know what Bryson's doing over there. I guess he's doing that because he just went 0-6 last week on his picks. But we had a good week of college football, Week 10. About to get into getting down to the nitty-gritty here in the college football season. Josh, how was your week of college football? Josh is on his phone tonight because his internet's not wanting to cooperate, but how was your week of college football?
It was pretty good, man. I was definitely nervous Saturday night watching LSU play with nothing to lose and Alabama sleepwalking. About lost that game. Really wasn't expecting Purdue to do it twice in 1 year. First Iowa and then Michigan State, and they'll have the opportunity against Ohio State soon. But yeah, those were surprising. Really wasn't surprised too much with the Wake Forest loss. Yep, that's about it.
Gotcha. Bryson's over there. I know, like I said, your picks wasn't too strong, but, how was your week overall and your week of college football?
Yeah, I had a hell of a week in college football, 0-6. Man, I mean, Florida, good God, 40-17, losing to South Carolina. Fired Todd Grantham this week. Next year. That's next year.
Is the coach next for you?
I think Dan Mullen's definitely on the hot seat, but you know who I would like to see in there? I think it'd be pretty cool. Go Gators. If we get old Ed Oregon in there, I think that'd be pretty cool. But I doubt that happens, but yeah, we'll see you next year, boys.
You don't want to bring Urban Meyer back?
Oh, fuck that son of a bitch. Excuse my language.
Gotcha.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Preston, how was your week of college football?
Oh, it was awesome. Yet again, I got to watch my Tigers struggle versus inferior talent on the road at 7:30. But the Tigers etched out a win. And as I was telling you earlier today, everything is still in front of the Tigers. They can't win the national championship this year, but they could still win the ACC with a timely victory next week.
This dude's so happy. He comes to me. I'm sorry. But you know what? We'll do this at the rant. I'm not going to go into it, but this man's the happiest man in the world for Clemson right now, and I don't understand why. But anyway, all right. So, yeah, we'll go to the records here. Nobody did that great. Josh did good. Josh went 4-2. He's 42-36 overall. Preston, 2-4.
That is better than 0-6.
31-38. And Bryson put up a donut, like we said. 0-6. 0-6. He is 30-35 overall. So pretty tight race now between Bryson and Preston.
Yeah, no, there's games. I still feel like we're catching Josh at this point.
Yeah.
I just don't want to finish last.
There's always a chance.
I need Bryson to put up another donut here, and I'll feel confident. But you know what they say? My mom always told me you got to be consistent in something. Would it rather be consistently good, consistently bad, or just be consistently inconsistent? Gotcha.
Well, yeah. So, Purdue did it again. They took down Michigan State I think it was by a couple scores, wasn't it? Bryson, I don't know if you got to see the game much, but what was your thoughts on Michigan State going down?
I didn't think Purdue, like Josh said, 2 in a year. It's kind of crazy, but it's college football. Anything can happen. Now the top 4 is going to be, really interesting. Because I think their run's pretty much over. But yeah, I like it. I like the upset.
Gotcha, Preston. I know Josh spoke on a little bit, so we'll go to you. What's your thoughts on the Purdue game?
I think the chances and possibilities for Cincinnati getting into the top 4 just increased so much more now that we're pretty much almost going to guarantee that you're possibly only going to get one Power 5 undefeated champion. And I think if Cincinnati can take care of business in the next couple of weeks. Those Bearcats could be sitting
But
there.
you
pretty
still
in the
have
first round.
Oklahoma and Ohio State or
I mean,
Michigan.
Jesus
I mean, you
Christ,
still got
y'all
other
won by
teams.
fucking 8 points last weekend. Good God. That's an embarrassment.
And they had to do a goal line stand to do that against
I
the 3-6.
am
I can
just-
tell you, and I'm telling you now, Cincinnati's going to lose. Cincinnati will lose before this. It ain't going to matter because they're going to lose.
Yeah.
But even if they do win, they're not getting in.
If Cincinnati loses, they fall out of the top.
Yeah, no.
8.
Yeah, but
9,
I'm saying
10.
I think they're going to lose anyway. But what I'm saying is, even if they do win, they're not getting in.
You want to make a friendly
I
wager?
don't think you make a wager that they'll get in.
Not that they'll get in, but they'll win out the rest of the season.
Oh, you saying they'll get in?
No,
You're
you just
so
said you
confident
think they're
they'll
going
get
to
in.
lose.
I
so
said
feel
I think
confident
they're going to
win
lose.
out.
They could definitely beat. They definitely could beat Harlem High School and Evans High School and all these sorry teams. I mean, they definitely.
The narrative is changing now that I've asked to put some moolah on.
I said put moolah on it. Put moolah on it that they'll get in.
No, I don't want that right now. I want the action on the fact that you say they're going to lose before the regular season's up. Take action on that.
We'll think. Let me think on it because they don't play nobody. Let me think on it. I think they are going to lose.
He's very confident.
I'll tell you when we get to the game, when we get to when they play SMU, I will.
Well, nonetheless, I feel like the chances
even
for
this
us to
SMU
get
just
in
lost
together.
again.
Hey, but Cincinnati's going to lose. Cincinnati is going to lose. Let me. Who they
It's
play
okay,
this
guys.
week? I don't know
Haters
who
going to
they,
hate. Haters going to
I
hate.
don't know who they play this week, but they're going to lose.
And what? Come on, Home Depot. You would go to Cincy for the damn college game day? I mean, my God. Anywhere else, but you go to damn Cincy. I mean, that's a joke.
What they went last week for?
Yeah, that's why I go to Lowe's.
It was a close game, so yeah, it went to a good game. All right, yeah. But Josh, did you have any more thoughts on Purdue beating Michigan State? I know, no more thoughts on that. All right. What about Wake Forest? Wake Forest going down, North Carolina beating them. I know Josh is the only one that picked North Carolina in the -2.5. Preston, any thoughts, on Wake Forest? I know you're happy for Clemson. Clemson might be able to take them down in just next week, a couple weeks,
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks. Clemson be able to take them down.
If they take them down, this is the first off. I'll give my thoughts on that in just like 10 seconds. But if Clemson wins out this week versus North Carolina versus UConn, and then North Carolina beats NC State this Saturday, and then Clemson beats Wake Forest next Saturday, there's a chance they could get in the ACC championship game. I can see you. But yeah, my thoughts on the game.
Hey, who?
What
cares? All right, thank you. No, I'm sorry.
That was good. Okay. But the North Carolina Wake Forest game, that hands down, I thought was the most exciting game of the week. I mean, Wake Forest, you thought was going to run away with it in the third quarter. North Carolina did what they did last year, 35 unanswered. This year, 22, I think, unanswered points. And then it was just a really close game and everything like that. And, I mean, Sam Howell and Hartman from Wake Forest, those are talented quarterbacks. Again, the quarterback conference, the ACC, is putting up together some good quarterbacks for the NFL to be seeing in a couple of years. And Sam Hartman, I mean, Wake Forest, I think he's the real deal. I think he's really good. Unfortunately, he has to lose his second game of the regular season in next Saturday to Clemson. But, I mean, it's still a great season, and we'll see. We'll see what goes forward from that. Good game, though.
Gotcha. Josh, any thoughts on that game? Or Wake Forest as a whole? Wake Forest. Any thoughts on Wake Forest going down? Sorry.
North Carolina and Wake Forest, that was a shootout. I actually kept up with it a little bit. I seen it was 14-21, 21-21, 28-21. It was back and forth. I tuned in and watched the end of it after I watched Cincinnati barely escape by Tulsa. Yeah, I thought that was a good game. Good performance by Mac Brown and Sam Howell and the Tar Heels to knock off Wake Forest.
Gotcha. Bryson, I don't know how much you saw of them, but what's your thoughts? I know you were a little, you wanted to see Wake Forest do well, but, they fell now. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
I feel like, they're going to lose. I mean, I knew they were going to make the playoffs, but seeing them make a good run, that was, cool to see. Cinderella story. But,
Choppy.
So I really didn't watch much of college football. I had a busy Saturday, but like I said, I just saw they lost. But sucks that their run's over. In my opinion, I like seeing them go, but that ain't gonna happen now.
Gotcha. Well, before we get in the rant, I know we spoke a little bit about it, but Josh, your team had a close game this weekend against LSU. I know you said something a little bit about it, and they will play Auburn here soon. Do you think they're going to stay undefeated? Honestly,
No, they're not. They're not undefeated.
Well, not undefeated.
Well, they can't say undefeated. They've already lost. So
undefeated the rest of the season. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I do.
You really do.
I do.
Well, what's the big problem for Alabama right now? What's going on there?
Listening to the rat poison and playing down to their competition.
Okay, Nick Saban.
I mean, Texas A&M's coming off 2 losses. They went in there flat-footed and got beat. LSU had all those players that were out, and Ed Orgeron being fired. I mean, and offensive line is a big issue. I mean, they were held to 6 rushing yards. That's the least amount of rushing yards Alabama's had since 1990. They were held under 34 points. They were held under 34 points for the first time since I don't know when. So it was
that's a crazy
it was
one.
horrible.
The rushing yard stat, that's pretty crazy right there.
I think it was 35 games.
Yeah.
35 games since the last time they scored less than 34 points.
Gotcha. What about you, Bryson or Preston? Or Bryson, you think Alabama's going to do it? You think they're going to make it and go stay undefeated? The way it's looking, I don't know.
It's going to be Georgia and Alabama SEC championship. I mean, it's simple. Alabama's going to stay 2. They're going to ride that 2 all the way to the college playoffs. I hope Cincinnati gets put in the playoffs so they can get 3. That'll be awesome if Alabama can whoop that ass. But I believe they stay undefeated, and they're not moving away from 2. I can tell you that right now.
I don't know, but
well,
I mean,
look, man. If there's a scenario out there, and it's real possible that if Ole Miss beats Texas A&M, and then Arkansas and Auburn both beat Alabama, or Auburn beats Alabama, Mississippi State beats Auburn, somewhere it could be a 5-way tie for the SEC West. I mean, it's possible that could happen.
What do they do in that situation? They would just go by.
Believe it or not, I read the rules, and it says they flip a coin.
Oh, so it's kind of like
high school football. Okay.
Okay, so
yeah,
I would be so pissed if they flipped the coin.
If they flipped the freaking coin, it was
Alabama. Hold on,
Mississippi
time
State.
out. Let me tell you right now. If they flip a coin, I can tell you who's gonna win. It's gonna be fucking. Excuse me. It's gonna be Alabama. Are you kidding me? They're gonna flip a coin.
They're going a little heavy on one side.
Which school brings in the most money? Alabama. Okay, you're going. That's what they want.
Okay,
I mean,
but which school has a horseshoe up their ass? Auburn.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, I don't know who's going to win that game.
I
don't know who's going to win that game, but I'm telling you right now, that's going to be a hell of a game when they play Auburn, Alabama. That's going to be one of the. That's going to be another. I think that one's going to be another hell of a game.
Well, Texas A&M showed us how you beat Auburn, and that's put a safety on Bo Nix and let him make mistakes because he does it all the time.
Yeah.
So you put a safety to spy on Bo Nix, and he can't run around like backyard Bo like he wants to, and he cost Auburn that game.
Gotcha. You have any thoughts, Preston? On?
Yeah, I think Alabama for sure stays undefeated. They're not undefeated. 1 loss the rest of the season. I mean, they've got New Mexico State, Arkansas, and then they go on the road to Auburn. And while I do think the Auburn game is going to be a very good game, I don't think it's going to be highly contested past the late part of the third quarter. I think Alabama is just that much better than the rest of the teams they play. New Mexico State, I mean, they're 1-8. They're not even a Power 5 school. They should right the table with them. Arkansas gave everybody some fits earlier in the season. They kind of been figured out how to play right now. I mean, they're 6-3. I think Alabama at home wipes the table with them. And then Auburn, like I said, it's going to be a good game. I don't think they're going to get too much of an issue. I mean, teams are allowed to play teams of lesser value or less skill close from time to time. It happens. I mean, I think the only time that I've recently seen that a team hasn't played somebody relatively close in the regular season that went on to do something good in the postseason, not because it's my team, was 2018 Clemson. I mean, they blew out everybody in the regular season and then blew out everybody in the postseason. It's rare that you see a team that doesn't
play in regular season.
They still blew them out. I don't care. But it's not often that you're going to see a team that's not going to struggle in the regular season. And like Josh says, I mean, these are 18, 19, and 20-year-old kids out there. I mean, sometimes they're going to read into the media and they're going to think that we're so much better and we can sleepwalk through these teams. And I think and this is the perfect time, actually. If you're an Alabama fan, this is like the perfect time for this to happen because you've got 3 weeks for the rest of the season, and then you're going right into the postseason. Conference championship and then the playoffs. And I think they're set up good. I think they have a really good chance to get the ball rolling, catch on fire, and kick ass the rest of the regular season and going in the SEC championship game and then beat Georgia by 11. And then I think they're going to be good in the playoffs number one. So we're good to go.
I don't know about that one. All right. Let's get into let's get into the player of the week. Yeah, it's a mouthful of you know what. Let's get into the player of the week.
Spit it out, son.
Player of the week. Bryson, did you come prepared with the player of the week this week?
I damn sure did, son. So, going to Purdue. Aiden O'Connell. 40 for 54, 536 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's Madden stats. Crazy. Now my second one was also David Bell from Purdue. 11 receptions, 217 yards, 1 touchdown.
Gotcha. Preston, was that your pick? Okay, that wasn't your pick. Who was your pick, Preston?
My pick, North Carolina running back Ty Chandler. 2 rushing attempts for 213 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 reception for 30 yards. The guy just did it all. 4 touchdowns in a game versus the number 9 team in the country, previously undefeated Wake Forest. What a juggernaut to go and have a great performance against. So that's my player of the week. And he, helped that team, put up some numbers, put up the score, and they beat our highly top 10 ranked team. And that gave Clemson the chance. So Ty Chandler, cheers to you. Thank you, sir. Let's go.
Gotcha. Sounds like he took your pick, Josh, over there, but y'all can have the same one if you do. It's all good. What's your player of the week?
Ty Chandler. But can you tell me where he transferred from, Preston?
Well, when you ask me that question, I feel like there's only one answer, but I'll let you answer that question yourself.
Rocky Top. He was their leading running back 2 years ago.
What were you gonna say?
So yeah,
he was gonna say Alabama.
I was gonna say Alabama.
I thought you were gonna say Alabama
Chandler.
too.
Tyson Chandler definitely was the player of the week over all of the other players, I believe. The way he performed and ran all over them. Yeah, that was a good performance. I didn't have anybody else but him.
Gotcha. All right. Well, before we get into our picks, does anybody out there, any of y'all have a rant for the week?
I got one, but I want to go last.
You want to go last? Bryson, Josh, no rant this week? Or
I don't have a rant.
You ain't got to have one, Bryson. You ain't got to have one.
I don't think anything pissed me off. No, not pissed me off yet this week. I mean, it's only Monday.
Bryson knows what one of mine was. Josh does too. Preston don't know this. I went to Hardee's the other day. Or last night. I went to Hardee's. Josh, I was actually on the phone with Josh. Went to Hardee's, and I got a burger and a medium fry. A burger and a medium fry. The box was the fries. They gave me like 5 French fries. Like, honestly, like literally like 5 fries. Like, there was no fries in there. I was very upset. I was very upset. I mean, dude, like, it looked like the dude like ate the fries. And you know what the worst part was? I had to wait on the damn thing. I had to pull. There was nobody there. Nobody. I'm trying not to cuss. But there was nobody there. There was literally not one person. There was one car in the parking lot, and there was nobody in the drive-thru. And I had to wait on my food, and then I get like 5 French fries. I looked in the bottom of the bag. I was like, oh, okay, they're in the bottom of the bag. Get home. Nope, they're not in the bottom of the bag. So, and another thing, before I get Preston go, last thing that pissed me off. Well, not pissed me off, but
That pissed you off.
but the Toyota Tacoma thing, I ain't getting into all that because I'm actually going to look at that on Wednesday. But anyway, before Preston comes up to me today.
Actually, you came up to me.
Preston,
well, yeah,
I did. Preston, I came up to Preston Day. I mean, this dude has the best. Like, he's so happy about everything. He's like, "Oh, Clemson's got a chance. Clemson's going. Clemson's going." I'm like, "Clemson's going where?" He's so happy Clemson's going to make.
I believe
he's
that the
so
Braves
happy
are going to do something.
He's so happy they're going to win the SEC championship. Who cares if Georgia don't make the top 4? I could care less if they go and play in the Outback Bowl. I could give 2 shits. To be honest with you, if they ain't making the top 4, I don't care. So I don't understand why he cares that Clemson. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe y'all can tell me y'all care if y'all's team goes to the Chick-fil-A Bowl or the Outback Bowl or the Twin Peaks Bowl, whatever bowl there is. I mean, I could care less personally. But
No,
maybe y'all
playing in the conference championships, your ultimate. That's your goal.
Exactly, that's your
If you're
goal.
any team.
I'm not over here
you're
with
any
3
team.
losses and Clemson. If I'm Clemson, I'm upset about the season personally. But
Who's the only team that give Georgia a run for their money this season?
Yeah, but that's at the beginning of the season. No, you're right. I'm not saying
This team is one of the most talented teams in the country.
That's not what I'm
if
saying.
they put it together each week,
He's
he's
hard-headed. He's not listening. I'm not saying you're not – the team's not – you don't have to be happy for a team. But you're not over here happy like, oh, they're going to mess the SEC championship. Oh, they're going to go. They're going to go. Who cares? I mean, me personally, I don't care.
I have faith in my team.
Maybe you're just but if Georgia – unless Georgia was going to the SEC title game and going to – unless they're playing Alabama and going to knock out Alabama to make it, I don't care. Oh, I do care. But unless they're going to the top 4, I don't care.
Clemson's actually knocked out Alabama twice in the postseason.
All right.
Fun
Well,
fact.
anyway, go to your rant.
Okay, my rant is about college football. Okay, it was with the committee's ranking. Why is Cincinnati at 6? They have no chance. When they broke it down, when ESPN and all those guys broke it down, they gave Cincinnati no chance to make the playoff.
What is the point?
What is the point of ranking Cincinnati in your ranking if they have no chance of making the playoffs in any way you format it, any way? What is the point of having any team that's not in a Power 5 conference, that's not named Alabama, that's not named Georgia, that's not named anybody of high status? What is the point of ranking them? You have no chance of getting in if they're always going to jump you over a 1-loss or a 2-loss Power 5. Let's say if Auburn won the SEC championship game for some reason. They won the West, beat Georgia. They're a 2-loss SEC champion, and they'd find a way. They'd be the first team 2 losses to make the playoff, and say an undefeated Cincinnati team at number 4 gets jumped by a 2-loss SEC champion Auburn. While you could say, yeah, the team might be better in Auburn than Cincinnati, what is the point of having a ranking system for these teams if they have no chance of ever sniffing the top 4 and going into the playoffs? If you're not going to give them a possibility of making it, why even rank them? If that should be one of your categories. They have to be a Power 5 to make this playoff, and then give them another chance to go somewhere else.
Let me tell you something.
Well, I understand, but there's no reason to do it.
Let me tell you, it would be different if they didn't play nobody and they were winning by 21 or 30 points. When they're beating Tulane and whoever in the hell they play, and Army and all in Rice and whoever else the hell they play by 7 points or 3 points, they don't deserve it.
Look at schedules for all the Power 5 schools out there. Alabama included, Clemson included, Georgia included. They don't schedule teams of the caliber of Cincinnati very often. It does happen, but it doesn't happen often. Clemson plays UConn this Saturday, not Cincinnati. Georgia, Alabama is playing New Mexico State, not Cincinnati, not UCF. It doesn't, and I'm not saying that that's anything. But why would you take a
I mean,
chance
they've
and play
played
a
great
school?
games other than those games
What I'm
this year.
saying that I'm not talking about that their schedules are because they're playing those teams that they're not doing. I'm saying they're not going to want to schedule a Cincinnati because why would you take a chance in a week that you're trying to set yourself up for success going forward? Why would you take a chance with a team that could possibly match up with you blow for blow? It's like, why do schools not play North Dakota State often? Because they're good. You don't play those teams in games like homecoming or something like that because you're trying to win. That's why you schedule a UConn or a Cincinnati or a New Mexico State. You don't play teams of that caliber because you don't want to lose. So my point stands. Why even put them in the rankings if they have no chance of ever sniffing the top 4 and the playoff? My rant's done. You can't say I'm wrong.
All right.
That's true.
Any thoughts on that, Josh or Bryson?
Yes. Schedules are made years in advance.
Yeah, they're still made years in advance, but you still have opportunities to change it.
Let him speak. Go ahead.
The out of conference schedules are made years in advance, and when you got, Georgia just played Notre Dame a couple of years ago out of conference schedule. Since Nick Saban's been at Alabama, he's tried his best to schedule big time opening day games against non-conference opponents, and we got one coming up against Texas. We had USC, we had Florida State, you had Clemson, Virginia Tech, Miami. Like when he scheduled those games, he thinks they're going to be good. I mean, you can't. Cincinnati has the 100th ranked strength of schedule. 100. Alabama has the 13th ranked strength of schedule.
Okay, but you just listed off all those schools. All of those are Power 5 schools. None of them was non-Power 5. My point stands. You don't schedule a non-Power 5 because even if you lost to those schools, say you lost to Florida State in that game, that Florida State was still good and they declined very shortly after. If y'all were to lose a close game and Florida State goes on to run through the ACC like they were projected that year, you lost to the number 2 team in the country. Closely.
So
you didn't lose to Cincinnati.
So who's to say 6 years ago that Tennessee goes and schedules Coastal Carolina? What's that look like? Because 6 years ago, Coastal Carolina.
6 years ago, yeah, but that's the thing. I'm not talking about. I know the schedules are made 6 years in advance or years in advance, but teams are allowed abilities to modify their schedules. Okay, if you look at right now for Clemson's schedule for like 2030, okay, that has the South Carolina game November 24th or 30th, whatever it is, and like 1 or 2 or 6 of their conference games or whatever it is. You fill in those dates as you get closer when other teams are talking about wanting to give you money.
You can't, but you have to have the other school agree to that as well.
No, I understand.
Who's to say Cincinnati has agreed to any of that?
And who's to say they haven't?
By the looks of Cincinnati's schedule, they're not going out of their pocket trying to schedule somebody worth a damn either.
I mean, we'll see. I mean,
if they know they play in a crap conference, then they want to make the playoffs, they better go schedule somebody like Oregon, USC, Penn State, Florida State, somebody,
Gotcha.
some big name Power 5 schools. And they played Notre Dame this year and they beat Notre Dame, but Notre Dame has recently been way overrated.
And that's why you don't schedule these teams, because there's a possibility you could lose. That's why you would go out and schedule a North Carolina State or not North Carolina State, New Mexico State and stuff like that.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's get into the next segment. We could argue about that kind of stuff all day long, so we'll go ahead and get into the upcoming games and our picks here. So first game, we got Michigan at Penn State. Penn State favored by 1.5. Bryson, you haven't spoken in a minute, so I'm coming to you first. Who do you got?
Y'all been watching hockey?
No, I don't watch hockey.
Okay, well, I have since, our season's over with, so there ain't no point in watching college football anymore for me. But Penn State, that's all I got to say.
You taking Penn State minus 1.5 over Michigan? I figured you'd pick Michigan there, but you don't like Michigan too much, I don't think. Josh, coming to you. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going with the Wolverines plus 1.5.
He's taking Michigan. Preston, last
Michigan
pick for you.
plus 1.5.
No reason?
Nope.
No reason. All right.
Who'd he go with?
He went Michigan as well. Y'all both
Okay.
went Michigan. Both went Michigan. All right, next game. Oklahoma at Baylor. Oklahoma favored by 6.5. Preston, you're first. Who you got?
I think Oklahoma's got their quarterback situation figured out. I think Oklahoma, even though they're on the road at Baylor, I think they're a better team. I like Oklahoma to try and get some good performances together so they can go into the Big 12 championship and the possible playoff berth strong and with momentum. So I'm going to take Oklahoma at -6.5.
Gotcha. Josh, who you got in that one?
I'm going to go Baylor plus 6.5.
Baylor plus 6.5. Okay. I wanted to see if someone would take Baylor there. I didn't know if anyone would, if everybody would go on the Oklahoma train. Baylor at home. Bryson, who you going with?
I picked Baylor twice this year and 2 upsets, and they never failed me yet. Going Baylor again.
He's going Baylor again. Okay. See if they'll upset him this time. All right. Next game. So I know it's a big line here, but we're going back to it since Purdue's upset some teams here. Purdue at Ohio State, -20.5 for the Buckeyes. Josh, who you going with?
Give me the 20.5 and the Boilermakers.
He's taking Purdue. And Bryson, did you know? Hold on, let's quiz Bryson. Bryson, did you know they were the Boilermakers?
I did not.
Okay. I was just wondering. We should have let Bryson go first, see what he would call them. I'm sorry. I just had to do that. Okay. So Josh is taking Purdue. Josh is taking Purdue. Preston, who you going with?
Yeah, that's a lot of points. But Ohio State, I think obviously they're a vastly better team. I think Purdue might have used up all their magic with their 2 upsets this year. I don't see it happening here. I don't see it happening and being close. Ohio State, I think it'd be smart for the coaches to, put the players and let them know, hey, it's upset alert week. Purdue's done this twice this year. They've done it to us in the past before. Be on alert. Let's go out there and perform the best of our abilities. I think they come out hot on fire and they put up a big number versus Purdue.
Gotcha. So he's taking Ohio State. Bryson, who you going with?
Mark my words. 30-27 Purdue.
He's going Purdue. Okay. Bryson, see if he can
Close
go.
game. 3rd time's the charm.
Bryson,
I don't know if y'all know this. I did call the Kentucky and Tennessee game on a score. I messed up the teams, but that's okay. I'm proud of myself.
I forgot to give you credit at the beginning. I do apologize. Go ahead, Josh. What were you going to say?
Hey, I don't think Ohio State's going to lose the game. But Ohio State beat Big Bad 3-win Nebraska by 6 points Saturday, and I think they're going to struggle with Purdue as well.
Well, Nebraska's gave some teams some run for their money, even though they lost, haven't they?
Yeah, they gave Oklahoma a run for their money too.
Yeah. So I mean,
they've lost all their games. They've lost all their games by like 10 points or less.
Yeah,
they've done that a couple of times, I think, recently at least.
Gotcha. All right, next game, Texas A&M at Ole Miss. A&M's -2.5. Bryson, coming back to you first. Who do you got in this one?
I was looking at the list today, and this is a really 50-50 for me. I don't know why, but my gut's telling me.
Take the points in.
I'm going Ole Miss.
He's going Ole Miss. He's going Ole Miss +2.5. Josh, who you going with?
All right, so Lane Kiffin will do it to Ole Miss again, and he will choke it up. I'm going ass to mouth, -2.5.
Okay. So he's going. So you're going A&M -2.5. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so Josh is taking A&M. Preston, who you going with?
I'm rolling with Ole Miss +2.5. They're home. I think these teams are very evenly matched. While I think Texas A&M has the better athletes overall from top to bottom on the roster, I just like Lane Kiffin better than I like Jimbo Fisher. I don't know. There's something with me, and then I think the offense is going to start flying versus Texas A&M as well. I do think the home atmosphere is going to make a big difference in this game. Give me the +2.5.
Gotcha. Next game, Mississippi State at Auburn. Auburn's -5.5. Preston, we're coming back to you. We're going to go to you first this time. Who you got?
Bo Nix and company, I think, versus Mississippi State. Mississippi State's done a couple good things this season, but they're on the road, a hostile environment. Again, I do put a lot of emphasis on environment in games. I think with fans being back in the stands, it does make a difference. This game, it's a noon kickoff, home team. I don't know how much that's going to come into play. But you're giving Auburn was -5.5?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm going to – that's tough. Give me Mississippi State +5.5.
Mississippi State +5.5. Josh, who you going with in that one?
Yeah, you said that game was in Auburn?
Yeah, it's at Auburn. Auburn favored by 5.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go with Auburn minus the 5.5.
Oh, he's going with Auburn.
I changed my pick up the last second.
You can change it. Do you want to change it now or you want to leave it? I'm giving you a chance. I'll go to Bryson. Hey, I'll go to Bryson. You think about it and we'll come back to you. Bryson.
Better
who you
think
going
fast,
with?
baby. You better think fast, baby. War Eagle, baby.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had to say it about 4 times, so you didn't have to think that fast. But anyway, so Bryson's going with Auburn as well. What you going with, Preston?
I'm going to stick with my original gut. I'm going to say Auburn -5.5.
Oh, you're going to stay on? You should have kept Mississippi State with everybody going Auburn.
Boo.
All right, that was your final.
I think that's going to keep me undefeated this week.
He's going
All right,
with Auburn.
all right, here we go. I'm going to change mine. Auburn will win by 3, so I'm going to go Mississippi State +5.5.
All right, he's going Mississippi State +5.5.
Hang on.
All right, everybody ain't changing theirs. That was the last. That was it. It's over. All right, Josh has got Mississippi State, right? Preston's going Auburn. Bryson's going Auburn. There it is. All right, final. All right, next game, Minnesota at Iowa. Iowa -6.5. Josh, coming to you first. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Hawkeyes.
He's going with
-6.5.
Iowa -6.5. Bryson, who you going with?
I'll take Minnesota.
He's going to take Minnesota.
Don't you know?
I hadn't watched much of Minnesota since early in the season, but we'll see what they can do. Preston, who you got?
This was such a tough game for me. Iowa has lost 2 of their last 3. Yes, they just did beat Northwestern, and I think that might give them the confidence and the momentum boost that they need to prevail in this game. I just don't know. It's tough because I've been thinking about it when you sent us the list. One of my good friends is an Iowa fan, and we've been talking about it a couple times. I think they need this game too to lock up the West, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
All right, shot clock. 10, 9,
Fuck that.
8,
5,
4, 3.
Give
2.
me Minnesota +6.
Okay, he's taking Minnesota. I thought he was going to go with I.
Is it +6 or 6.5?
It is Minnesota +6.5, if that's what you're going with. All right, next
The
game.
Gopher.
Next game, final game. Arkansas at LSU. Arkansas favored by 1.5. Bryson, who you going with?
Man.
You broke up. Say it again.
Hello?
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead. Give us your pick.
Man, I don't know. I got 24 seconds, right?
No, go. Who you going with? You can tell us about it. I mean, tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah, LSU coming off the close win to Alabama. Arkansas, 50-50. Give me the Tigers.
He's going with LSU. All right, I wrote your picks down. So, Josh, who you going with?
Yeah, LSU's favored 1.5.
Yep.
What,
Or no, Arkansas.
Arkansas's
Excuse me,
favored.
Arkansas is favored 1.5. Bryson, you knew that, right? Arkansas
Okay.
favored 1.5. Okay.
I'm gonna go with LSU. That's a big rival game for LSU. I think the boosters are gonna get in Ed Orgeron's ear and tell him to keep that fire lit under him like they had in Tuscaloosa. Arkansas is coming off a big emotional win against Mississippi State, where Mississippi State missed a game time field goal at the end. I think Arkansas has a little bit of a letdown. I think LSU is able to win, especially at home.
Gotcha. Final one. Preston, who you going with?
Arkansas is favored, right?
Favored 1.5.
Plus 1.5. Yeah,
Minus
I'm going to
1.5.
take them plus 1.5. I don't think Ed
You taking
Orgeron
Arkansas
cares.
minus 1.5, or you taking LSU plus 1.5? You mean?
Oh, Arkansas minus 1.5.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think Ed Orgeron cares what the boosters say. I mean, he's out. He's out at the end of the year. What does he care? What does he care if they give him a hard time?
All right.
I don't think it's going to affect him. But I wanted to add one more game. And the game that I wanted to add, I think, obviously it has good ties to Clemson and everything like that. But I wanted to add North Carolina State and Wake Forest. Wake Forest is favored -2, and it's at Wake Forest.
All right.
And they're minus what?
Wake Forest is favored -2. It's 9 versus 19.
All right. Who you got? You go first then.
I got Wake
We'll
Forest
add it.
-2. I
All
think
right.
they're going to blow them out.
Wake Forest -2 over, you said, North Carolina State?
Mhm.
All right. Wake Forest, North Carolina State. Where are they at? You said Wake Forest.
It's at Wake Forest.
All right. They're at Wake Forest. I'll add this game since I didn't see it on there because it is a ranked matchup. So Wake Forest is favored. We'll say, hey, they're going to be favored by 2.5 because we're going to half points. So, sorry. Wake Forest is going to be favored by 2.5. Josh, who you going with in that one? Sorry for the last second, we're going to throw it on there.
All right. I'm going to go with Wake Forest -2.5.
Bryson, who you going with?
I go. Give me Wake Forest.
Hey, you should be trying to get ahead, man. You should take the other team. All right. Bryson's going with Wake. All right. Let's get into the top fours of the week.
I want to go last.
Top fours of the week because, honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to do lock of the week because I haven't kept up with it. So next season, I'm going to have to start writing down the records of the lock of the week because it's too hard to go back and look at it right now. I tried, but we've done so many weeks.
So next season when we do lock of the week, if you get the lock of the week correct,
I'm gonna
give you 2 points.
Yeah, we'll do that. We're gonna do it different next week or next next year. Well, next season.
Next season, yeah.
Next season. We'll do it different. Because I didn't fully keep up with the lock of the week, so it'd make it a lot better. But Bryson, do you have a top four off the top of your head, or did you write one down or whatnot?
Yeah, I do, Christopher. I do got a top four. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, the University of Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Oklahoma Sooners. Number 4, Ohio State. I'm sorry.
He's going with Ohio State. Okay, I think he did that one on purpose. Josh, who is your top four?
All right, so I think my top four will reflect the top four that comes out tomorrow night. I'm going to go with Georgia 1, Alabama 2, Oregon 3, Ohio State 4.
Where was Oregon ranked in the last one?
5.
They're 5, yeah. So they'll probably.
I also.
Ohio State was ranked 5.
No, 6.
Yeah, I thought they were 6. Okay, think about it. Okay, yeah. What were you saying, Bryson? Sorry.
Well, it was a matchup for me. I mean, not matchup. A 50-50 for me for Oregon too. I really want to throw them in there, but I don't know.
So they're outside looking in.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'll put them at 5.
Gotcha. All right, Preston, you're always the one that's got all the debate, the controversial one. So who you going?
Y'all say it's controversial. I don't think it's controversial.
I don't know. I have people that the few people that listen to the podcast, they do say it's controversial. So go ahead though.
Drop him my phone number next time. I want to have. a
Now, he was
conversation with
actually, he wants to come on the show. I might bring him on the show in a couple weeks. It's one of my cousins, but go ahead.
you. Okay, at 1, I've got no surprise. I've got Georgia. I think obviously they've secured that spot, and unless they something catastrophic, it's their spot to lose at this point. 2, I've got the University of unranked Oklahoma. 3,
Wait, hold on. He ain't got Cincinnati. All right. Hey, I'll give it. Hey, everybody give Preston a round of applause. He ain't got Cincinnati at 2. He ain't got Cincinnati at 2. I'm sorry.
not so fast, my friend, because Cincinnati's 3.
That's fine.
And 4, I've got Bama.
4, he's got Bama. All right. Hey, this is better than what he had. Hey, this is better. I will say that is better than what you had. You have improved. I don't think Cincinnati's 3, but it's better than what you had.
A bunch of haters.
Gotcha. Any more thoughts on the week of college football or anybody's picks or anything? Or
I would tell you this right now. If we lose to Florida State, our last game of the season, Dan Mullins, it might be a goodbye. Maybe. I mean, it's
And
this
welcome,
season.
and Florida can welcome Willie Taggart.
I mean, I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's like we start losing and we don't give a damn anymore. I mean,
so what about the old Richardson kid? I heard both the quarterbacks not looking too hot over there.
well, you got that shit right, Chris. I mean, damn. I mean, you got so much higher expectations, and you come show your true freshman colors. And I mean, I don't know. I just, golly, next season. Hey, I rarely say this, but I'm gonna say it. This because they're SEC. Go fucking dogs, baby.
Gotcha. Any more thoughts on the week or any games going on this week? Is that it? All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for week 12. Appreciate you watching. Peace.
I'm forward.
Peace.
Bryson, that was not being there.